Ambassador, Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar has just told a foreign media channel that India turned down a US offer to mediate between India and Pakistan, perhaps alluding to the ceasefire in May after Operation Sindoor. Does this indicate that President Donald Trump claiming that he ensured a ceasefire between India and Pakistan is not true? India had always said the US had no role to play. Now Pakistan's foreign minister and deputy prime minister has conceded India turned down any third-party mediation.
Well, it's certainly a pretty remarkable statement from the Pakistani side, but consistent with what my own understanding was, that as in prior examples of increased tensions and even military activity between India and Pakistan, ultimately it was the leaders of the two countries that turned the dial down and restored peace. So, Donald Trump has been after a Nobel Peace Prize for some time, and he said in the United States in his first 6 months he solved 6 wars, one of which I think he meant to include was India and Pakistan. This would seem to be a pretty convincing statement by a very senior Pakistani official that indeed no outsider had a role here. It really was resolved between India and Pakistan.
Ambassador Bolton, US Trade Representative Brendan Lynch is in New Delhi, and this is the first in-person meeting between India and the US on trade once the negotiations were stalemated or broke down. Do you see this as forward movement by both the countries or a climb down by the US? Is there a reset, or would you see this merely as a holding operation?
Well, I think at least some people in the Trump administration understand that the various actions the White House had taken had really gotten a very poor reception.
Okay.
There need to be steps taken to bring the relationship back to an even keel. I certainly hope that's right. I know that in India there was some feeling that Trump had acted very abruptly back in August, where he cut off, if I'm not mistaken, a scheduled negotiation meeting and simply said, well, I'm going to impose 25% tariffs on India. If that's accurate, I think that was a mistake. I do think the two sides were reasonably close to an agreement, and maybe if they can get back to the table, they can reach one, at least on the so-called economic tariffs.